And for this war that dwells within your being, this tearing of God's image at itself, yourself, we know, O God, that you are inconsolable, as so are we, and our only solace is to beg you. You who make peace and harmony, in the ultimate reaches of the universe, touch our souls, teach our minds, open our hearts, guide our bodies to make peace within ourselves, among ourselves, within and among the children of the earth, the children of Sarah, the children of Hagar, the children of Mary. Make in us a peace that weaves together in reconciliation all of your people, all the communities of the earth that call out your many holy names, and even beyond, all those who dwell upon this planet. All this we pray in the name of all that is holy, in the great name. Amen.
We're gathered here today to take a moment to remember one of our sons who lost his life in the service to this country. Not since the Korean War has this community had the need to place the name of one of its sons on this cenotaph. Regrettably, we do so today. However, we do this publicly to honor Erin and to show our thanks to Erin and his family and for Erin's ultimate sacrifice.
I'm going to pass on regards from the 3rd Battalion, PPCLI. Master Corporal Doyle was a highly respected soldier, an NCO, and a great leader. Master Corporal Doyle's memory is perpetuated by the regiment and 3 PPCLI. He will never be forgotten. We will remember him. On behalf of all ranks, 3 PPCLI, thank you for perpetuating his memory. Erin Doyle, he was my friend. We were all in B Company together when the war really cranked up from 2002 to when it basically ended in 2010. All the members of B Company and 3 PPCLI are all war veterans, all in Afghanistan, and all have various combat experience. Erin Doyle was one of the strongest junior leaders in that company at that time. And it was a pleasure to serve with them, and I will never forget that guy.
Erin was with the Primary Reserve, Rocky Mountain Rangers from Kamloops from 1996 to 1998. He was with the Regular Army, 3rd Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry from 1998 to 11th of August 2008. He was also attached to or served with 1 and 2 commands of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry on occasion, and is well known throughout the entire regiment. His medals and decorations include a NATO medal for former Yugoslavia, received 2000, Bosnia-Herzegovina, as part of Task Force Bosnia-Herzegovina, again with the Princess Patricia's Light Infantry Battle Group out of Drevar, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Canadian Peacekeeping Service Medal received 2001 in Edmonton for being part of international peacekeeping missions. Southwest Asia Service Medal received 2002 for Kandahar, Afghanistan, again with the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. It was not beneath him to be there for anyone who needed help or support of any kind. From lending a couple of dollars to the next payday to help a guy out with his family, to help fix a car, or helping a coworker get home to an ailing parent, by buying a plane ticket to get them there faster, and with no expectation of return payment. He was very fond of children and the elderly, with the utmost respect and time for them. He adored his friends and their families as if they were his own. Family was always first, and second were people who needed someone to stand up for them when they could not. Erin loved his daughter so much and was very proud of her on so many levels, especially when it came to baseball, track and field, or long-distance running. Erin loved all his family members wholeheartedly. He wasn't perfect, and I can attest to that, Kathy, but sure could have you doubled over laughing trying to rectify his mistakes, which make you want to take life with a grain of salt, because some things just are not worth the extra effort dwelling on. Erin memorialized as the first and only Canadian on the CrossFit site.
Looking at our city's cenotaph here, where we have 100 names for World War II and 200 for World War I, it is now fitting that we add names from subsequent conflicts. Almost all of the currently serving military members here have been to Afghanistan and have lost close friends in that conflict. The numbers that we have lost there are quite small. It has been and still is an insurgency where casualties are lower. However, when you lose somebody that you personally know, it is a very hard one to bear. Master Corporal Erin Doyle, like many of the patricias who were raised in the Kamloops area or the BC interior, was originally part of his local reserve unit. In this case, our unit, the Rocky Mountain Rangers. Erin did his initial infantry training here before transferring to the regular force. He had many friends in the unit, and he still has people in the unit who are his close friend after 10 years away in the patricias. I did not know Erin personally, however, the many anecdotes that have been passed to me about him tell me that he was definitely a person who was well liked and well respected, a man of strong character, a man with no fear, and a man who got things done. The regimental sergeant major related a story to me about a return trip from the Fort Lewis training area south of Seattle one day when Erin, a corporal at the time, noticed that a jerry can had fallen out of a truck in front of him. He pulled over to the left-hand side of the freeway off the actual highway and went out into the freeway to retrieve that jerry can so that it would not be a hazard to passing motorists. That was typical of Erin, a man of confidence and no fear, or at least more fear of causing harm to others than of potentially endangering himself. Master Corporal Erin Doyle, as you've heard, was awarded the Chief of Defence Staff Commendation. The citation for that commendation reads as follows: for outstanding leadership, dedication, and composure during 2 separate incidents that saved Canadian lives in Panjwai District, Afghanistan, 4 April 2008. So that citation was awarded 4 months before Erin was killed. When Erin was killed in action, on the day he was killed, it was for similar actions that he was undergoing that actually saved fellow soldiers' lives, for which he was never been formally recognized. Most of the names we see here on the cenotaph were people of similar character, individuals in our community who you would look up to, and if they had not been killed in action, they would likely 10, 15, 20 years later be a prominent person in the community because of the strength of character that they had. Unfortunately, Erin is not able to do that. However, Erin remains an inspiration to the rest of us for the rest of our lives.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age will not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
And it is with pride, but also with a heavy heart, that I stand before you today to say a few words in honor of Master Corporal Erin Doyle. As you know, Master Corporal Doyle served our nation and Afghan people with distinction, skill, and courage over the course of 3 tours of duty. Since 2006, as part of the UN-mandated NATO-led mission to Afghanistan, Master Corporal Doyle and his comrades in arms have had a difficult task of securing Kandahar province, training Afghan forces, and supporting our humanitarian mission. Because of the security umbrella that our forces fought to provide, Canadians and our international and NGO partners have been able to deliver much-needed support to the people of Kandahar province. Their efforts have been truly monumental. Over the past 8 years, the Afghan National Army has grown from 17,000 troops to 134, thanks in part to the mentoring role our Canadian forces have played. The Afghan economy has greatly improved, roads are being built, medical clinics and schools are being constructed, and incremental steps are being made to make life better for ordinary Afghans, especially women and children. As our troops complete the final phase of our combat mission there, we pause and remember the sacrifice and service of the over 37,000 Canadians who served in Afghanistan. And here in Kamloops, we remember the life of Master Corporal Doyle through the addition of his name to our cenotaph. He joins the list of those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of our country, our beliefs, and values. It reminds us that when duty calls, the men and the women of this city have always responded with pride and determination to protect Canadians at home and serve their country abroad. Beyond all this, we also remember that Master Corporal Doyle was a man, an irreplaceable man who was loved and cherished. He was truly our local boy done good, raised here in Kamloops and starting his career as a reservist in our Rocky Mountain Rangers. He was a recipient, as we heard earlier, of the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal for community service, and in his military career, he showed a willingness not only to safeguard Canadian communities, but to assist other people halfway around the world in rebuilding theirs. A people who in many cases cannot even meet at a public memorial like this without fear that they are being watched or that a gunman or suicide bomber might be nearby. This is the world that Master Corporal Doyle willingly entered in the hope of doing his duty and making a difference, and he paid the ultimate price.
The minstrel boy to the war is gone. In the ranks of death you'll find him. His father's sword he has girded on, and his wild harp slung behind him. Land of free, said the warrior bard, though all the world betrays thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard, one faithful heart shall praise thee. The minstrel fell, but the foeman's chain could not drag his proud soul under. The harp he loved ne'er spoke again, for he tore its chords asunder, and said, no chain shall sully thee, thou soul of love and bravery. Thy songs were made for the pure and free, they ne'er shall sound in slavery.
As I was sitting there reflecting, I went to school at Sturwood right behind here, and so walking by the Cenotaph on a daily basis going to school as a child, you almost start to, as bad as it sounds, not realize the full magnitude of it as you're walking by, because it becomes part of your everyday life, and you start to realize it's been 65 years since we've been fortunate enough to not have one of our local boys fall during conflict. However, unfortunate as that is, it has now happened. I can think of no better way as a community that we make sure that we recognize the sacrifice that Erin made on behalf of his country and his community, in terms of acknowledging and forever in time making sure that his name is with those that have gone before him. And I think it's a very powerful reminder to everybody that there is conflicts around the world going on a regular basis, and we certainly, with the Rocky Mountain Rangers in town for such a long time, have sent many, many people into the way of harm. And this is a good reminder of that, and hopefully people will draw upon that to realize that as a community we have strength when we have people like Erin willing to stand up for what is wrong in the world, and to do that time and again. And so with that, I think I do hope that this brings more light to the remembrance of all those that have passed before, and add to Erin's legacy of all the great and wonderful things that he's been able to accomplish in his life on behalf of Kamloops, his family, his country, and all those around the world that he was trying to make life better for as well.